I realize I'm doing another review. See what I did there? Today, this week, I review the new video and song by ACDC, Realize, coming up right now. What's going on, everybody? Leigh Dickey here, comedian, actor, producer, reviewer, and guy with enough power to review an ACDC song. But before we get into that main event, I want to ask you that if this is your first time here, to please hit the subscribe button, follow along on social media at Leigh Dickey. Comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Rate us on your favorite podcast app and player of choice. Give us a 5-star rating if you would, please, and thank you. Now that all the housekeeping is out of the way, let's get into this review. My review of the song and video for ACDC's new one, Realize. So the new single/video/song/smash hit by ACDC, Realize, which I will link in the cards and in the description. This is their latest single off their latest album, Power Up, which was released in November. And the video and song have been out for maybe a month now. And I wanted to talk about it because I am a fan of ACDC. I love their music. I'm a big fan. I prefer the Bon Scott era of ACDC, even though it was relatively shorter than the Brian Johnson era that it still is to this very day. Now, of course, this is ACDC's first album in about 6 years, I think since 2014's Rock or Bust, and the first album/single or set of songs that they have released since the passing of Malcolm Young, which I think took place in 2017. Of course, you've got Stevie Young on rhythm guitar, Angus Young on lead guitar, like he always is, and in his trademark schoolboy uniform, which was really cool. The Catholic school boy in me, because I did go to Catholic school from like grades 2 through 12, just that uniform, you know, as many memories as it brings back for me, it's actually cool to see Angus Young still rocking it more than 40, almost 50 years later. And of course, you got Brian Johnson back on vocals. He had to step away. I don't know whether you want to call it an exile or a retirement, because I think he had a bit of a hearing issue due to all of basically the decades of rocking stage and, you know, loud rock and roll, and you're basically right in front of speakers and amps and what have you, and driving vocals, and it, you know, loud music will damage your hearing, right? I mean, you see that now with most cell phones. If you use them as your everyday music player, if you crank the volume too loud, they'll give you a warning. Loud music can damage your hearing. So I'm assuming that's what happened. He had an issue with his hearing or his ears. Maybe it was an eardrum thing. Maybe it was the same thing that Huey Lewis had. I'm not sure, or has to this day still, which is unfortunate due to like the years of basically touring and playing in front of loud arenas and loud speaker stacks. Brian Johnson had to step away. Axl Rose came in, I think, about 2016. They toured for a little while, then all the members of the band split up, did their own thing, and now they've all come back, basically as the core. You have Brian Johnson on vocals, Stevie Young on rhythm guitar, because obviously I think he's the nephew of Malcolm Young. Malcolm Young, as I said earlier, passed away a few years ago. And you have Phil Rudd back on drums, and you've Cliff Williams on bass. I mean, you have that core back together. It's the ACDC that millions upon millions of people have loved for basically more than 40 years, because, as I stated, like, you know, Bon Scott passed away in 1980, and he was the lead singer, and they got Brian Johnson, and the rest, as they say, is history. Now, personally, my favorite ACDC song is It's a Long Way to the Top, if you want to rock and roll, with Bon Scott on lead vocal, but, you know, Bon Scott no longer here. Brian Johnson has been the lead vocal / like one of the many driving forces to the band since 1980, and, you know, well deserved. And it's so nice to see them back together in their core again, or at least as close to it as you're going to get. You know, I mean, Malcolm Young no longer here either, but it is a really cool song. I mean, I haven't listened to all of Power Up, but Realize is such a cool song. The thing about Realize is that it's typical ACDC. It is typical. It's the typical ACDC sound. You've got Brian Johnson's screaming vocal. You've got Angus Young driving that lead guitar, and obviously you've got everybody else, Stevie Williams, Phil Rudd, and Cliff Williams on rhythm, bass, and drums, respectively. And it's so cool to see that band back together, to see them at their core, and just, it is a driving, blistering, hard-rocking, in-your-face, coming right at you, into your living room or wherever you're listening to it from, right off your phone or laptop or tablet. It's just this coming at you relentless burst of energy for, 4 minutes, and it's amazing. Of course, I'll link the video in the cards and in the description, but I haven't listened to all of Power Up. Just this song, my God, it is that typical ACDC, relentless driving, coming at you, take no prisoners. We're all about rock and roll, and we have been for nearly half a century. You're going to love us no matter what. And you know what? People do love this song. They do love this record. Like myself, I love this song. I haven't listened to the entire record yet, but this song in particular, it's another fantastic musical baby made by the people that are ACDC, okay? It has elements of Back in Black, it has elements of Thunderstruck, and you've got Brian Johnson on lead vocals again. What more could you ask for? It is just this, like, it's a cross between Back in Black, I think anyway, a cross between Back in Black and Thunderstruck, and they got together and made another baby. It's another piece of musical rock and roll, heavy driving, in your face brilliance. What more can you ask for from a group like ACDC? Just this hard rocking, hard blistering, in your face, take no prisoners, never take no for an answer type of rock and roll. It's like, we're gonna rock your socks off, and they always do. Of course, this is a follow-up to Rock or Bust, which was 2014, I think, and they knock it out of the park again. They always seem to knock it out of the park. I can't think of a bad AC/DC song or record. I mean, if you can, put it in the comments below. Tell me on social media. Let me know, because in all my years of listening to AC/DC, I can't think of a bad song or record. And Power Up and this song Realize, same thing. There's not a bad element to the song. From what I've heard of Power Up, not a bad element to the record. Now, when it comes to the video, it's all the members of the band basically playing in or performing in a rehearsal hall or some sort of sound stage, and it's shot in black and white, or maybe it was shot in color and just there was a black and white filter imposed, or even because it is black and white. It does come off as black and white. I don't want to say it was shot in black and white. It was just probably shot in color, and then there was a black and white filter imposed over the footage. Still, it looks very AC/DC, and it looks very, very cool. The video itself looks like it was shot on an action camera. I don't want to say GoPro specifically, just because I don't know what it was shot on, but it looks like it was shot on an action camera. You've got fisheye lens shots in there. You've got, a lot of close-ups, obviously, because it is a music video, and you're just trying to cut up a 4-minute video. That's pretty much how you shoot an actual music video. It's different shots, all within a period of 4 minutes, but it's shots in succession. You've got fisheye shots, you've wide-angle shots. The band is standing in front of a wall of Marshall amps, which I undoubtedly thought was really awesome, really amazing. And it's just, it is this blistering coming at you thing. You know, it's typical ACDC. It's a black and white video shot on an action camera. Angus Young, you know, in his trademark schoolboy uniform, which again, very cool. And like, what more could you want from an AC/DC video? It's simple. I don't want to say it's stripped down, right? But it's simple, but it still states who they are. It still states it's AC/DC. We're here to rock your socks off, and they do that. You know, we're here to perform rock and roll, and that's what they do. And they do it very well. You can't really get more rock and roll than it's stripped down to the point where, like, everybody's wearing black clothing, black jeans, black shirt. I think Brian Johnson has his trademark newsboy cap on. Angus Young, like I said, he's got that schoolboy uniform on. You got Phil Rudd behind the drums, Cliff Williams on bass, and Stevie Young on rhythm guitar. It's just black and white. It's filmed in front of a stack of Marshall amps. You've got your fisheye lens shots. You've got some close-ups. It looks like it was shot on an action camera, but it still states that it's very AC/DC. Okay, it is typical AC/DC sound. It is a typical, I guess nowadays, a typical music video for pretty much anybody, given current global situation or not. It's very simple, very elegant, and yet very stative of who they are. It states who AC/DC is, it lets you know who they are, and it lets you know that they're just there to give you a good old-fashioned good time with some good old-fashioned rock and roll. Like I said, I can't wait to listen to the rest of the record. I know it came out in November. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. But if this is any indication, I am sold on the record entirely. I cannot wait to listen to the whole thing and just drift away into this, you know, valley, I guess, this musical valley of AC/DC-ness. And it is the perfect AC/DC song, video. It's simple, but it lets you know who they are. And, you know, a perfect marriage, of course. You take Thunderstruck, you take Back in Black, two AC/DC songs that I love, and you smash them together. They make a beautiful musical baby, a beautiful musical love child, and you get Realize. But there are my thoughts on the music video and the song Realize by AC/DC. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. This will be on the Beats and Speaks podcast as well. I will throw that up there, I promise. Please do rate us 5 stars on your favorite podcast app. All the links to both my podcasts are in the description. Visit my official website, LeighTDickey.com. Follow along on social media, and we will see you all in the next one. All right, I've been Leigh Dickey. This has been another video on LeighTDickey.com and Leigh Dickey TV, the YouTube channel. Again, thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. All right, Leigh Dickey signing off. Peace!